All right, so we scoured the internet and we came across this video of a lady in China, a black lady. We do not know where she's from specifically, but you guys can take a look and then we'll come back and see what's up with this video.
什么意思？是他的，
What is tumor big?
I don't know. No, it's not an insult. They compliment me.
Really?
Yeah.
你是真的啊？
Because she said you're small here, but
假
here
的
you. 中国，什么意思？Translate.
是什么啊？是这个
Translate.
假的完了这么听不懂。
听不懂。说一下。
我说你说是假的还是真的？
What is she doing?
重点知道？
What is she doing?
I don't know.
不是，我就说你上面不大嘛，下面为什么这么大呀？
Oh, she's saying why you tiny here, but here you're big. Yeah, it's a compliment. I told you. Yes.
你要我丢弃掉呢？那你上面为什么不放呢？没事。
哎，我也看了算了。
是假的呢。真的。
一般，OK。我要traumatized了
上
吗？
面不大，为什么下面这么大？
All right, so in this video, the comment section is ablaze with tons of comments. People are saying it stems of or it smells or stinks of racism. Other people are saying it's purely innocent. Call it whatever you might, interest, curiosity, and whatnot. So on my panel today, we have Mr. S as usual, all in black, pretending to be poor, but he's super rich. And then we have Mr. L as usual with this gap there, which costs about $180, but would not answer his family's call because he thinks they're going to be taking money from him. So yeah, guys, what do you think?
Who built the cat? Game Asergi.
No. That is so jam-packed with information. That's like, that's a really heavy breath. Let's go.
It depends on the angle you are looking from. Okay, for me, initially, when you see a beautiful lady, a well-carved, curvy.
Be careful, your wife might be watching, so just
it still doesn't matter. It's God's creation. I'm just praising God's creation. Allow me, Malik. Well, curvy, curved, well designed. Sometimes you tend to ask yourself questions. How is it possible that one person have all this apparatus, weapons of mass destruction and stuff? So
is this something you do every time? Do you ask yourself those questions when you see?
No, sometimes I become blind, but sometimes too I look at it properly and then
like
I'm no angel.
Sunny Baba, Asemba.
That's it.
So,
Mr.
L.
If you're looking at it from that angle, then they are just being curious, right? But from you being in China for a very long time and your experience with Chinese people, what do you think is the motive here? Before I go there, I think that would be the second one. But the first one, it is like a reaction. Like most men, we do that. You're like, hey, whoa. I know my brother on the far, the gray and stuff. Whoa. But if you want to look it from the Chinese angle, let my brother answer before I come in.
All right, Mr. Oye, from your whole 32 years of experience being in China, what would you say, from the knowledge you have about Chinese people, does this really stink of racism? Or from your perspective pretty much if you live in any other country, you would have been Chinese by now. You know what I mean, right? You would have had like your green card and everything. So you have like a lot of experience with Chinese. So what's your take on it?
I think I want to look at it from the angle of the people involved. The people there are two old women who, as we all know, maybe throughout in their whole life, they've never met like face to face. Probably they've seen on TV or from a distance, but maybe they've never really met a black lady face to face, or an African, I should say, face to face. So maybe it was coming from an angle of ignorance or surprise, right? And so some of the comments we're making would also be coming from an ignorant angle, because we do know that there are many people who have never left their area where they were born, or probably have never left China, or like I said before, maybe they've never met such a foreigner like an African lady. And they being ladies, but older, seeing someone very different from them, it's likely to elicit those kinds of comments. So I think that, yeah, their age kind of also plays a role. I don't think it would have been maybe the same sort of reaction if those two older women were younger Chinese girls, because these days younger Chinese girls, they have foreign students in their universities, they watch foreign shows, maybe they travel out, so the reaction might have been a little different.
Yeah, I like what you said about ignorance, but let's not forget racism also starts or begins with ignorance, right? Not knowing about a people, about a certain race. That's how racism starts. But the thing is, it's a very fine line to really draw. But if anybody who speaks Chinese out there could get the conversation, right? It was not more about her skin tone, right? So to speak, it was more about her curvature. So it was more about them asking about, it's very interesting. She's got a very tiny, midsection. And then at the bottom, it's kind of huge, right? So I could call it like curiosity. I don't even know if there's a bit of like enviness in there, because to be honest, there was one Chinese neighbor that I actually lived with who actually made comments like that about my wife, and she said it in front of us, and she's like, "Oh, they're so lucky, they have like a very nice behind and stuff like that." And she was even talking about my kid inheriting it from her mom. So I think some people actually kind of wish they could have something like that. Yeah. But another thing also is like, what is the word I'm trying to use again? It's like stereotyping. It's about this narrative. It's about this attachment we add to stuff. So that was an example about an experiment that I did, right? So I would like to do that with you guys if you don't mind. So I'm going to ask you, Mr. S, right? Would you, let's say, jump off an airplane for $1 million? $1 million, that could change your life. Would you jump off an airplane?
Without taxes?
Without what? Without tax? But that's up to you and the government. That's not my place. That's up to you and the government. So what do you think?
There has to be a motive behind, though.
No. Just yes or no. We can't give you any more details. This or that. $1 million, jump off an airplane. No. Okay. Because
I'm not ready to die anytime soon.
All right, Mr. L. No, that makes a lot of sense, Mr. L.
Yeah. Nah, I won't do it. For me, even if for $10 million, I won't do it. We're talking about an airplane. If the airplane is standing on the ground, yeah, I'll be the first. But if the airplane is flying or in the air, I'm not going to do it. Even for $100 million, I won't do it.
That makes a lot of sense. Mr. S, that was exactly my point. Now, I did not give you more information about the airplane being grounded at the airport or flying in the sky. But immediately you said no, right? So I'm happy L broke it down. That is it, station, is it stationary like at an airport? Because that's the thing about these kind of stereotyping. It's like we spread the word so negatively that it becomes automatically, attached to that kind of thing. Once you see something in that, scenario, right? You see like two other Chinese talking to an African lady touching, and automatically we start thinking racism. Same thing. When you hear airplane, just word association. You hear airplane, you're like, it should be in the sky. But I did not say it was in the sky. But automatically we go like, no, I'm going to die. Why would I do that for $1 million? I'll be dead. So I'm just trying to make this example as the way we kind of have this association with words and things we see. Yeah. Because if you listen to what they were saying, it was nothing bad, because there was a girl translating and she was like, oh, they're just saying that, it's like, they don't understand how your midsection could be so small, but sure. And at the point, the women were like, oh, we're both women, right? I mean, it's not a big deal. We're touching her, right? We're all women. So in this case, is it one of those things that we have to try as much as possible to not make our first take, the negative side of things? That's where we always go to once we see something like that, without fully understanding the context of what's happening.
I tell you my mindset. When I saw the video, nothing like racism came in.
What did you first think? Yeah,
it was out of curiosity. They were curious, and they are women. And the truth is, that is why I said, from a man's point of view, if men do it, it's okay. Because the moment, I don't want to hide here. Sometimes we see some women, and you're like, oh, even though you have a wife, this is it. You're just admiring creation. So you see it, and you're like, but the difference is you cannot touch it. But because they are the same sex, it is easy for them to touch and ask questions. And not everything that you associate racism to, I find it difficult. And it's not because it's the Chinese, or yes, some of them do pass some comments, right? That you can use it as, oh, they are being racist. But this particular video, with this particular video, there was nothing racist. That, if I would say, it is out of, I would say, jealousy, but a body they've never seen before, and they are women. You understand? Like you mentioned,
I think it just blows your mind, right? It just blows your mind. You just do not know how this happens. Yeah.
Even as a man, I see.
Yeah, it still blows your mind. Yeah.
Actually, I think it cuts across all cultures and races, right? Almost any woman, as long as you have woman genes, I wouldn't say everybody, but generally women like that kind of shape. And like we said, there are some people, or there are some races who have more curvature than others. But it looks to me, from my interaction, I mean, we all had colleagues that we worked with, and when they saw foreign colleagues, they would make comments like, wow, I like your shape. I can have it. And I'm not saying this, but they say themselves, they said, oh, for Chinese, it's very hard to get this kind of shape, but I like your shape.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yes.
Listen,
this is not me. This is not me creating. They themselves say it. So when you hear all these things, it makes you think that. I mean, and you can see when women dress up, their friends compliment them. You know, we often hear that in movies, in real life, and all that. So I think generally all women like that. So, like you were saying, maybe it came to them as a surprise. How come somebody can have that and we just can't have it? You know? Yeah.
Even amongst us men, even in China here, they meet you and they go like, "Wow, tobacco, you are not part of it, but Leo, you can relate." You know?
Oh,
no,
why do
you? No. No, we're talking about stereotyping and racism, and that was total like discrimination. Like,
but I'm saying exactly my point. They are not saying it to be me.
No, are you trying to say there's nobody that envies short people? Is that what you're saying?
No, I've not mentioned. Don't tag me. Okay. I'm just saying, like, sometimes they come out like that, like in front of your face. You're working with somebody who is like not your height. I don't want to, but I know tobacco. You are not part what I'm saying. But they go like, "Oh,
God, don't punish you. God, don't punish you.
Call a spade, and not a garden too."
But you don't take it too hard, right?
No, for you, you're right.
In the same context, they will even tell like someone like tobacco, "Oh, you look like what is Steve Curry, or what is this Steve Curry?
Steph Curry, yeah,
that's the name, Steph Curry." And you look like Kobe. It's the same. You understand?
Yeah, but I don't think anybody told you specifically that you look like Kobe. But that's another conversation for later. Let's move on. So the point, I actually watched like a podcast in the UK, and two girls, they were saying the same. They came to Ghana and they were like, oh, they felt so embarrassed about their bodies because they felt they had nyash. But they were like, they came to Ghana and they were like,
it was God given.
So, are you guys? And it's like she was like,
what is going on here?
She said they don't even work out. They don't even go to the gym. So it's like, how is this possible? Right?
Yeah.
And that's what exactly like you said, even other women kind of like, admire or I don't know, there could be like a tinge of enviness, like, other women. So it's nothing really crazy to think that a Chinese who's seeing like, excuse my language, flat bottoms, like, her whole life, and she sees this big curve and she's going to be like, it doesn't matter. Of course she's curious. She wants to know how it's, do you exercise? Is it the food you eat? Is it your DNA, right? It goes the same way with the skin tone sometimes, right? A lot of people do not mean to be rude, but they're just wondering, like, is it because of the sun? Is it because of that part of the world you live in? Is it because like they see on TV, right? Or the dirt? Genuinely they got questions, It might smell of racism sometimes, but it's like, this is why I like Jerry in China. Jerry in China, right? That's why he never gets mad. He always kind of like, pass it off as like, oh, because I eat a lot of chocolate or because of, the sun.
The sun
something
thing
like
you
that.
just mentioned, the sun thing you just mentioned. They tend to say you are dark because you work a lot on the sun. Because
under the sun,
Yes, under the sun. Under the sun in let's say the country you are coming from. Most of the time it's sunny. Here, the Chinese, they say the same things to the Chinese that work like the quote unquote the farmers, the people that work like that.
Yeah, they're like super dark. Yeah.
Yes, they become dark, so they have that, and it has to do with education. So I don't. For me, with that shape, I also want to touch and find the reasons why.
Interesting last
You think
comment.
is it R&D we are doing here?
All right, so yeah, let's move on. I mean, that is not to say there aren't like people who are racist in China. I mean, that goes without saying. But in this very particular video, that's what we're talking about. So, do you guys think people are overreacting in the comment section, or they have like justification?
I think most people who will be reacting maybe don't live in China, reacting in that way. Because if you live in China or if you lived in China for a while, you will understand the different types of discrimination or racism or comments that people pass, right? But in this case, if you're too hard on the old men, I think you're being a little unfair because, like we said before, it doesn't seem like they were coming from a racist angle. It seems like they were coming from a different angle of how they understand women, right? They were genuinely surprised, and even going to the extent of touching just shows that it's something they hadn't seen or experienced before. And this was our time. This is our last chance to experience something.
You can add racism to it if they were touching and they were saying mean things. And they were saying, "Get out of this place. We don't need you here." Then you can. But if they are touching and trying to find how is it soft?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I have some, but mine is more bonishy stuff.
Yeah, but I think it's a cultural thing. Sometimes it's like that. I feel like standing for looking from afar, right? At a distance, you feel like, oh, it's kind of like weird, or why are you touching this person? But let's not forget, Chinese people or their culture doesn't really like look down on like, private or personal space so much. You know what I mean? You could be in like a public urinal, right? Mm-hmm. There could be like tens of stalls and somebody's gonna walk and stand right next to you, just peeing next to you. Yes, so they don't have that sense of space. Yeah. It's like your hair. They'll just walk up to you and be like, "Oh, is your hair like fake?" Even our kids, right? They walk up to you like some old ladies, like, "Is that hair real?"
Oh, they have big eyes.
Yes, yeah, how is the eyes so big? Stuff like that.
What about she's misraised. She's intelligent.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those are some stereotypes they have. So
they have all these weird connotations.
Yeah. So, any last takes before we go down? Because I feel like it's just a matter of like perspective. You need sometimes with Chinese, it's very hard to judge from afar. You need to have lived in China to be able to understand the way certain things happen. It's not coming from a mean place, even though there are like some people who are genuinely mean. Which happens in every country, but most of them are not.
I say it this way. My last comment is this. We need to sometimes leave some room for them. And I tell you the reason why. You have to go back and check what they've been through. They've been isolated for quite some time. It is just quite recent, in the past 30 years or 20-something years, that they've really opened up, right? And you go to certain cities, certain towns, certain villages, and they've not seen a single black person in their life before.
I mean, that is not China, though. There are a lot of countries also that have similar. Like,
there are people who don't even know.
Yeah. But I'm talking about, like, look at China, the Namas, right?
Yeah,
that is what I'm. And then the towns and cities. Yes, sometimes it gets a bit frustrating because you feel we are in 2025 and things needs to be done differently. But you are dealing with people who, once upon a time, they never had the opportunity to read books. These are facts. They never had the opportunity to go. Some of these old people on the video, you could see maybe this is the first time they're seeing a black or an African, or So yes.
But let's not make it look like it just happens to Africans, because I've seen them do it to a lot of white people.
No, exactly. Like what
you know what I mean in China. So
it cuts across. It cuts across. The thing is, we have to just give room. If the comment were over the board, then yes, I can sit here and lambast them. But this one, they're just being touchy, and they are the same sex, so it's nothing. I just want to know that what you have is real. Yeah. As a man, I see it and I also want to touch. But
no doubt. Everybody knows that. Everybody watching can see that. All right, Mr. L, last word before we wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll just add something to what Stephen already said. I think it doesn't just happen to amongst the old people, but even young people as well. We all have friends or colleagues we worked with, and then initially they would be like a little sort of scared to get close to you because of all the prejudice. But once they get close to you, they realize, oh, he's just the same as us, right? sometimes they even shove you. You'll think that they'll even be scared to touch you, but like as colleagues, sometimes they will shove you. You sometimes like let me share a snack together, have a chat. They will be commenting on how big your eyes are and all that, because generally, and this is not from a racist point or whatever, they are, like you said, they are used to seeing smaller eyes. So when they see you with just normal eyes, big eyes, they make comments about that. Oh, your eyelashes are so long. It's just they're just coming from the view where, like Steven said, for a long time a lot of people were only used to seeing their own kind. And now that they have a lot of other races or foreigners in their country, a lot of these things they see with new people coming in is new to them. It's new to a lot of people. And so, yeah, there's bound to be all these sort of comments and curiosity about what foreigners look like and all that. But I think it's all good. As long as it's not coming from a racial point of view, I think it's normal.
Yeah, my last tip would be, I mean, for me, I feel like personally it's more empowering to kind of like use that particular moment, right, to teach them about what they're asking, as opposed to being all like defensive and being like, it's racist and all that. Because at the end of the day, I feel like if you get upset about it and stuff like that, you're actually empowering them if they actually mean it the wrong way. So just take time out and be like, no, we're born this way, right? Most of my siblings are like that. Most girls in my country are like that. Just like you have like, straight hair, we have, curly hair. Just take time to explain. I don't think, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to make a big deal out of nothing. Because I feel like in 2025, for the generation we live in, people like to just blow up things out of proportion for no reasons.
Yep.
One of those things that the internet does as usual, it circulates. People don't really grasp the context because they don't even understand the language that is being spoken behind the video. They just try to say stuff that makes no sense. So again, that's it for you guys. Let us know what you think about the video. Do you think these old elderly ladies were out of line, or you think it were just some old ladies just being curious about another race they've never encountered before? So to the next episode, with DLS out.